For those looking to buy or sell Madden Ultimate Team coins, check out the Mud Store. They have cheap prices, fast delivery, and great customer service. Use code Texas at checkout for a 10% discount. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Texas back over here with part 2 of the best scheme chemistries over here in this game. Now, if you guys missed part 1, which was going to be over offensive chemistry, link in the description below. In today's video, we'll be discussing the best defensive scheme chemistries to run over here in this game of Madden. So like the offense, there's 4 defensive ones. We have 4-3, 3-4, man D, and as well as zone D. Now before we get into this, let me know down in the comment section below how my audio sounds. I'm having issues with my Elgato / microphone where it seems to be lagging, so I'm trying something a bit different. Now I'm recording my audio in Audacity, and I'll just sync up the content and hopefully everything comes out great. If this is an easy fix, we'll go with this permanently throughout the rest of this MUT cycle. If this is not fixing the issue, which I'll know when I edit this, I'll find something else to do in the meantime to get this problem resolved, because I think it's the Elgato. But anyway, let me go ahead and get into these 4 particular scheme chemistries. Now, 3-4 chemistry, for those that don't know, the chem boost that you get once you get to tier 2, you'll get a +3 to power move, +3 to block shed, and a +3 to hit power. For 4-3, you get a +3 to finesse move, +3 to block shed, and a +3 to pursuit. For man D, you obviously get a +3 to man coverage, +3 to jumping, and a +3 to tackling. And last but certainly not least, for zone D, you get a +3 to zone coverage, +3 to catching, and a +3 to tackling. Now we have to figure out which is the best chemistry to use over here in this game. And just like on offense, you can pretty much rock multiple chemistry at the same damn time. Now, the one negative I can say on the defensive side of the ball compared to the offense is you cannot rock tier 2s on multiple defensive chemistries at the same damn time, unfortunately. So I was trying to do the math right now, and if I wanted to get 4-3 and 3-4 active, I would have to go out and buy a bunch of coaches' uniforms in order to get tier 2 for zone cover and 4-3 or zone cover and 3-4. Unfortunately, it's very expensive to do that because it requires 8 players on defense as opposed to the 7 it requires on offense, which makes it a little bit more costly. So if you guys want to run zone cover in 4-3, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into what I think is best. So we'll start with the coverage. Now, man coverage is actually useful. I think man coverage this year is kind of overpowered. I played guys that will come out here in man press, and I just cannot create any separation at all. And I don't know why that is, but it's pretty easy to beat if that's the case. If a guy comes out here playing a lot of man coverage, just comes out in some bunch formations to hope that he doesn't pressure your guys. If he does pressure your guys, he can't really get everybody in a bunch, and somebody can get a free release off the line. And since they patched the motion snap thing over here in this game, it made it pretty much not usable. Man coverage still prevails pretty strongly. But the +3 to man coverage doesn't really benefit the linebackers. In order to get this chemistry active, you have to have a linebacker. And as of right now, there's no linebacker in this game that has like 90 or 85 men. So you're not really going to be using these guys to their full potential. Now, it affects your cornerbacks and safeties greatly. But for those that don't run that man blitzing scheme where you'll play man on the outside with your safeties playing man coverage, it might be kind of a waste. So if you guys are out here doing some mid-blitz cheese, out here running a lot of those single high safety looks with a blitzing linebacker, safety down in the box, this might be the scheme you can run. But I don't think it affects your linebackers too much. But with the zone coverage one, this one affects your linebackers because there's some linebackers in this game with some really decent zone coverage. And getting it up to a +3 rating boost will make it a little bit more significant. Plus, according to Gutfoxx's testing, link in the description below, you guys might want to check that video out. He talks about how zone coverage is more important than man coverage when it comes to the deep balls in this game. Higher zone results in more breakups, as well as you diagnose the pass much faster in the air with higher zone coverage than man coverage. Same thing with awareness and same thing with player recognition. So zone coverage seems to be the best scheme to run based off his testing, and also it benefits everybody on your defense greater, especially if you play a lot of the cover 3, cover 4. Now, zone coverage this year is kind of easy to beat, especially with all of the different ways people will motion guys open to one side of the field or different route combinations that can confuse your safeties and stuff like that. So zone coverage is kind of hard to beat, but with high zone coverage players, hopefully your guys react faster to get back into that position, make a play in the ball. Zone coverage gets my approval. Now let's go ahead and focus on the front four, which is going to be the 3-4 versus the 4-3. Now we're going to start the 4-3 first, which is what I use on my team. And the reason why I use the 4-3 on my team, where's my defense? What's going on here? Where's my defense? There's my defense. That was weird. Anyways, so I used the 4-3 mainly because, again, like on offense, when the game first came out, they gave you a bunch of good 4-3 players to use. Telvin Smith being one of the good ones. One of the first team heroes that came out, that was like, wow, this guy is really fast. 87 speed linebacker. You got the Ray Mawaluga, who's pretty good as well. Alec Ogletree. Over here, it could have been the, what's that dude's name? Sean Lee, the gold KJ Wright, Levante David, and the defensive line was pretty amazing. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool, man. A lot of these free cards I got from knocking out team heroes, I might as well go ahead and use this particular chemistry. And 3-4, they kind of did not do a good service of. And I'm kind of sad that the team heroes going forward are now going to have elite chemistries because they kind of missed out an opportunity to kind of balance it out. We could have got some 3-4 players that we were missing at the beginning of the year, because I think if 3-4 was in the game, I would use it. And the reason why I would use it more than 4-3 right now is my controller dies. That's awkward. The reason why I'm not a big fan of this particular chemistry is because of the +3 to finesse move. It doesn't seem worth it because you look at the front four, you look at a lot of these defensive ends, defensive tackles, these guys got high power move. So when Fletcher Cox goes up to 87 overall and he gets a +3 finesse move increase, goes from a 73 to a 76, I'm like, that's not going to do much in game. Like, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between that. And that is where I think some of the chemistry in this game take a bad turn, because I'm cool with 4-3 players being more finesse than 3-4 players, but a lot of these guys aren't benefiting from getting a +3 finesse move boost. So Damon Harrison gets a +3 finesse move boost, goes up to a 66. That's kind of useless. Now, some of these guys, you can build around the finesse move. I mean, Jason Pierre-Paul is one of the guys with high finesse move. So is this Brandon Graham. He has good block shit as well as, and good power move, but I think he has 85 finesse move already. So some of these guys you can build around. But the majority of D tackles and linebackers in this game are going to have high power moves. So the finesse move boost is kind of irrelevant if you ask me. And that's why I'd much rather use a 3-4 defense over here in this game. And that's just because of the +3 to power move, which benefits pretty much everybody except for the linebackers, I would say. The outside linebackers coming off the edge of high power move benefits them more, and your D tackles up front and defensive ends in a 3-4 are going to be benefiting more from the +3 to power move. But pretty much the only thing that's different outside of these two are going to be the finesse move and power move combination, or the hit power versus pursuit. I don't believe in hit power, and the pursuit is one thing I don't really know how to do any testing on. Hit power is just random, so I'm not really worried about that. The one thing that you want to look for is just going to be the power move combination versus finesse move. And even though I value finesse move, a lot of these guys have low finesse move to begin with, so increasing a low finesse move is not going to make them even better. So that's why I would much rather increase the power move. So imagine Dan Williams getting a plus to finesse. That's not doing nothing. So that's why I like 3-4 better. And I would use this chemistry prevailing on my team if they actually came out with team heroes with 3-4, but they missed their opportunity to with this last batch of elite chemistries. And unfortunately, we did not get really any good players. As you guys can see, my entire team for 4-3 pretty much is team hero players, and my entire team for 3-4 are players I had to go out and buy off the auction house. So hopefully they don't stray away from these particular scheme chemistries, but 3-4 is much better. And if I had to run a combination of two different types of chemistries, I'd much rather run 3-4 in zone cover as opposed to 4-3 in zone cover, especially with this year run being so really great. Like, I need some more linebackers on the field and linemen to help me stop the run. 4-3, even though it's better for, I guess, zone and man cover schemes because it matches up much better, I'd much rather stop the run and stop the pass, because passing in this year's game is not as hard to stop as the run seems to be with all these bruising and trucking backs, as well as these guys are hard to bring down. So down to the comment section, let me know what you guys' thoughts are on this particular combination of chemistry, which one you guys prefer, which one you guys don't like. Also, let me know down in the comment section below, how does my mic sound, how's the audio sound. Hopefully it sounds good. If it sounds great, will we keep doing stuff like this in the future? If it doesn't, I'll figure it out. Hopefully it doesn't sound this terrible. But next up, we'll be discussing the elite chemistries, which ones are best to run, and we'll be discussing which ones are worst to run. So stay tuned for that. I'm the Texas Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.